Hey guys, well, we're out here in Morris, New York at the Mini Meltdown. We got invited out here by Spinning Wheels to come and capture it. It's also going to be broadcast live on TrackShot Live, so you guys want to make sure to check them out on Facebook, YouTube. Check those guys out. They do an awesome job. You got Decker, Skinny, Tix, and others on the mic. They do an awesome job of commentary. They're going to be filming from the Crow's Nest, and we're going to be trackside on the stage. So a couple different views, and hopefully you guys like the event. It ought to be a good one. Definitely have some really well built cars here, and these guys out here in New York like to make junk, if anybody's never seen our videos before. So, and of course we got to observe social distancing, wear masks when needed. So if I get a little muffled, that's because I'm having to wear a mask or something, but I'll do my best here, guys. But anyways, we're just going to do a walk through the pits. There is some music playing in the background, so hopefully this video actually does make it onto YouTube. We may just upload it anyway, even though with the copyright and all that fun jazz. But let's just go ahead and just start checking them out. We got a few different heats here. I think we got the first 3 heats of mini cars here today. How you guys doing?
How are you?
Doing great.
Nice to meet you.
You too. I'll be back around. So we got these are more of a, what I would consider more of a stocker build. It looks like you can swap tires, bumpers, do some modifications, but you can't get too crazy with the welding and such. I do like the fact that these guys have to chain and wire the bumpers on in most cases, so hopefully we don't have too many cautions as far as you know, having to stop for bumpers and different things. And as always, guys, if you do see your car or your buddy's car, definitely give us a shout out and a timestamp of when you saw it and what number. Always like to hear from you guys, because don't get to meet half of you, even if I wanted to. And you know, we always do our best to try to capture everybody on film. So we're just gonna, again, kind of just walk quick through the pits here. We won't be able to go super detailed, because over the course of the 2 days, we've got 270 vehicles registered, and so they're splitting that half and half between the 2 days. We're going to go ahead and jump back over to the front of the next line. Alright, here's the next heat. I think this may still be heat number 1. It's kind of hard to tell. That's so these are both heat 1? Okay, perfect. So this is still heat 1. Looks kind of like if it's not a Smith Metal Works, it's definitely a copy of one. Those are pretty stout bumpers. Or you can always go with the classic 2x2 or 3x3 square. Not a bad way to go. I know I've said it in my videos that with the compacts, you generally don't want to do a point. They tend to just take the hits a little better if you do something a little more flat. But to each their own. You know, everybody has their own flavor.
He had one of standard that he was talking. I'm not putting talking.
Black, black, and more black. I mean, to each their own. I'm not a big fan of it when people just paint their car all black, but you know, at least they got some decals and some other stuff going on. You guys know we always like to paint up our cars, so they actually do have a couple of prizes for best paint today, so I'm curious to see who's going to be contender for that. See, like stuff like this took a little bit of time. You can see they probably used some masking tape and kind of masked it off, but all those stars, those are all hand painted. You know, somebody spent some time doing that, so shout out and kudos to you if you did that. Now this is going to stir some of you guys up. We got, despite having the muscle car heat at San Filippo, they brought a Mustang here today, and they're going to tear it up with the mini cars. So to each their own. But I guess, you know, their car, they can do whatever they want, and I won't judge, because I've certainly done my fair share of it. But, you know, ought to be interesting to see how that thing does. So keep an eye out for that guy. Alright, these cars kind of starting to blend together a little bit, so honestly don't know exactly what heat it is. Make sure, as always, to check out the description below. We'll put links to all the individual heats so you guys can check them out for yourself. And again, TrackShot is here. They are going to be doing their live stream, so definitely check those guys out for their replay, and you can get the commentary from those guys. They certainly do an awesome job. It's something that you know, I strive to hopefully be able to bring you guys the same kind of experience. Obviously that's a little different, so we work together, we collaborate here. I'm going to be trackside, as I said before, it's a pretty stout little car. Toyota. I'm gonna guess a Camry, but I don't know anymore, guys. I'm terrible with cars, so I'm the wrong person to be doing this kind of thing. We'll stick to the mini cars for now, and then we'll circle back around and work our way up the vans. And they got minivan, mini truck. They got economy V8. They've got the 2-man extreme, and I think they're maybe heavy. I'm not entirely sure what the other class is. There's a few cars that kind of fit the bill of a few of them. How we doing?
Good.
What heat you in?
3.
This heat 3?
This is my boy. Memory card. Passed away.
You must be gonna live feed that, ain't you?
All right, we got minivans and mini trucks right here. So pretty stout bumper on that one. That's good. If you guys know, if you ever watched a van heat before, the vans definitely are all about backing up and protecting the front end, but you know, some guys just go all out and don't even care. So vans are always a wild ride. These things have all the weight on the front, there's like no weight in the back, and they have a lot of metal to bend, so always a good show. I know if you guys have ever regularly followed our videos, you know that. Ooh, Jeep Cherokee. If you guys remember 2011, we ran one of these at the bash in the mini truck heat. It was one of the first bashes actually, and haven't been back, but the Jeep did okay. The problem with these things is that they have their leaf sprung, which is nice. However, the leaves are not very stout. They're pretty thin. I don't know how well it's showing up on video here with the lighting and whatnot, but they're pretty thin. And so what happens is they tend to kink. And whether you're, especially ours, bowed right here, it kind of bent right where the leaf, the bottom leaf met the, you know, the second one right there. So about right up in there, it kinked, bent. So it bent the leaf down. This kind of bowed up, kind of shorted and squatted the whole back end, which it did okay, but the problem with that is then your drive shaft was very quick to fall apart, and we were done. So if you ever run any of these mini trucks that are leaf sprung like that, definitely make sure to do what you can to either run a slider or just account for that. Again, this is like, I think I can't really tell you, this is another Jeep. Thought it was an Explorer for a second, but honestly it's a Jeep. So same sort of problem, exactly the problem. All right, and oh man, everything's kind of filed into here. I'm already catching some mini cars, and then there's some vans. So we'll kind of start working our way up through here. So actually we're just going to deviate, and I think these are the economy V8. So they're, you know, pretty much what we would consider a street stock, full-size build. So we'll catch these guys, and then we'll work our way back up towards the front. Yeah, and actually there's even before we can get into those full size, we got some more minis just tucked in here. So we're gonna catch these guys super quick. We'll come back, get the full size, and then kind of keep working our way around.
That's all I can see. So it doesn't undo it?
I guess so.
Gonna guess this is either heat 2, I think heat 2 probably. I don't know, they're all kind of overlaying each other in the back, so hopefully it all figures itself out and everybody can make it out on the track.
That's it in the pit. Drivers meeting at 12:30. Just a few minutes away. Drivers meeting on the stage at 12:30.
Oh wow, Monte Carlo, check this thing out. Do not see too many of these running in derbies anymore. There was a time when I was a kid that these things were out there quite a bit, but definitely not something you see very often, so that ought to be a fun one to watch. Again, in a very stock, I think it's the Economy V8, so very stock build. Ought to do well against some of these. A lot of 80s GM tend to make their way into the street stock full-size class. I guess Economy V8 here. They tend to make their way into it just because they're not really worth much more in the world of derby for most builders. Got Josh Decker on the mic, so you'll hear him throughout the day.
Joe's gonna water the track. 12:30 behind the stage, drivers meeting. Just a few minutes away. If you want to be in the best of paint, pull your car onto the front stretch. I'm looking for some best of paint. We have a beautiful.
Alright, we already caught this guy, so we're going to go back up to the front, and actually, why don't we just take this row? We were already here. We'll capture this van and just keep working our way up towards the front.
One each day. So, if you want to be in the best of paint, get your car.
Unfortunately, there is a pretty sound chance of rain today, so a lot of people do have their vehicles covered up. So if you wanted yours featured on YouTube, sorry guys, you're gonna have it covered up with a tarp, so you won't be able to see much, but that's okay. I'd be doing the same thing if I was you. Ah, is that a Jeep Liberty? Wow, interesting. I'm gonna capture that one again. That's the one I have not seen run before. So check that one out. That ought to be fun. He's running, oh, and he's running front wheel drive with it too. He doesn't have any, not running anything in the rear. He's only running front wheel drive in this one instead of the rear. So that ought to be interesting. Keep an eye on that one. Ought to be fairly stout, I would think. I think one of the only mini trucks I've seen here today. Ranger, extended cab.
And he wasn't being easy on it.
And then a Toyota Sienna. These vans actually are fairly tough. Don't see them run too much because just in general Toyotas are still running down the road, but I've seen a couple run and they've done fairly well. It's all about the driver as well as anything else in the van world, but they actually are fairly stout. You know, you figure Camry and others are nice and tough in the front, so why not a van? Oh man, check this thing out. This one's fun.
Gotta get their vehicles off the track. Vehicles off the track.
We're going to be starting the driver's meeting here in a little bit. Let's see, we got about 15 minutes before the driver's meeting. So we're going to just keep on hiking through here, capture as much as we can. Hopefully we catch your vehicle. If we do run out of time, I apologize for that, guys. Let's go up and catch this next row up forward to the front.
We're going to be giving away a best of paint. If you want to be in the best of paint, get your car up to the front line.
One thing I don't like about this camera, guys, is this is as far out as I can zoom. So when everything gets parked in here nice and tight, I can only do so much to show the vehicle. So I do apologize if you don't get the best shot of your vehicle. Obviously I do my best, but kind of am limited on real estate. Now I think I'm going to run into some vehicles that I have already filmed, so if that is the case, we'll just turn around and go to the front of the next line. How about that? Homemade header like that. That's fun. Nice skinny tractor tires. Personally, I think if you're going to run tractor tires, you got to run these skinny ones. Otherwise, you're just going to put a little too much strain on your axles. I'm also a big fan of this skid steer tires, but you know, everybody has their flavor. All right, now we've already captured these cars, so we're gonna go to the front and capture the rest of these other ones. All right, now I believe, yeah, I don't know. I think these must be heavy V8 based on the way they're built. I was thinking these were the two-man extreme cars, but I think those are actually in the next row over. So we'll capture those in a little bit. A little bit of different flavor of build, depending on the vehicle. This one's almost stock. I mean, he's basically running, well, I guess he's not running street tires, but they've definitely been through some stuff.
Again, drivers meeting here at 12:30.
Man, where do you guys out here in New York find all this old iron? I don't know. Can't find it over in Indiana. You guys can find it over here. I don't know where you're going to get it, but that's pretty awesome. LTD Crown Victoria wagon. These are starting to become scarce because guys in the derby world are snagging them up, and there really wasn't too much of a production run for the things. But they're still around. That one was obviously quite clean, so hopefully he does well. It's going to be tough to battle with some of these guys because you just got stuff like this that not going to bend much. Try to pick up the pace here a little bit, guys. We are running a little bit tight on time, but still, despite all the music and everything else, wanted to give you guys a walk around through the pits.
Check Out Live is going on at 12:30. We're going to be streaming at 12:30. So all your family and friends watching at home. We'll have people from all over this country and other countries watching live.
It looks like there are still there's one car up in inspection, but at this point most of the cars have gone through inspection and are ready, so this might be about all there is.
Just you and your buddy, I think. So that's a Chrysler, right?
All right, we'll go capture the rest of these guys. All right, these I believe are the two-man extreme cars. So anybody that doesn't know what this is, the driver basically, he's got the steering wheel, and then the passenger has the gas and the pedal, basically the pedals and the shifter. So it ought to be rather interesting. These guys in general always put on a heck of a show, so they just you really have to trust the person in the passenger seat. If you are ever going to enter this class, you absolutely have to trust them. I personally don't trust a lot of people, so therefore I'm probably not going to run this class, but it is pretty cool. Always a really good show.
You'll just be watching the action. Check Out Live is going to pick a best of paint. We'll award that. Today is just going to be a little bit different. Bear with us. We've never done this without fans ourselves. So we'll see how that rolls today.
Alright, we're gonna just catch this truck real quick because we did forget it. I'm not sure if I thought the trucks weren't running until, unless he's with the minis. He might be with the minis, could be. I do know tomorrow they have the farm truck class, so those are basically more of a full-size, more stock build. You can't really do much, tires, bumper, and wire everything you can. That's about it. Alright, we're gonna catch these last couple cars and then I think that'll be about it.
Again, remember, if you're by your trucks, you don't need to wear your mask, but as soon as you leave your vehicle and your crew, please put your masks on. Just keep each other spread out. I'm so proud of you guys. I love you guys. I'm so thankful that we're here, that we're smashing cars today. We got all nervous for a while. We were going to be able to smash cars. I know putting the mask on sucks. I know sanitizing your hands. I know not being able to be right next to your friends all day sucks. but I appreciate you guys doing it to get us to the next level. So someday we can fill these fans right back
real
up.
quick backstory on what Josh Decker's talking about here. Today they are not allowing anybody in the stands. It is a very sparse group that is going to be allowed in the stands, and it's basically every driver was allowed 3 crew members that could come in. They're allowed to sit in the stands or in the pits, and that's it. And so nobody from outside coming in to watch other than what you guys are watching right now, getting it all captured on film for you guys, for all the ones that weren't allowed to come. We all have to wear masks and all that stuff too, so keeping it interesting. So there you go, guys. There was a walk around through the pits. If I missed your vehicle, I do apologize. These are the ones that were lined up and ready, and I just didn't have time to hike through the pits and capture everybody. They're getting ready to start, so I'm going to get running. If you guys like the video, make sure to give us a thumbs up, and if you've not already done so, consider subscribing. As always, we hope that you guys have a great day, and for Mini Meltdown, we'll talk to you later.